Good evening, everyone, and welcome to something very special. And by something very special, I mean a game versus none other than Mr. Green. As you were able to hear if you watched my previous Fury of Dracula video, Fury of Mr. Green, I think, is my favorite opponent overall. Like, there are a lot of cool personalities in our community, not denying that, but simply the number of games we played against each other, the number of our mutual understanding, I'd say, the level of our mutual understanding with Mr. Green is so high that our games are always very weird, to be honest. So uh, like previously, I played against Mr. Green 2 times. I lost both time. I recorded one of the games. I didn't record the second of the games. This is the third game. This is the third game when I want to take my revenge. And when I want to take my revenge, where do I start? I start east. Yeah, I mean that's where I am, right? Okay. So, uh, okay. So, but this is also a very special game. I recorded the game when I wasn't able to talk too much, so I was recording games just in case, and I'm really glad that I recorded this game because this is a treat. So, what I recommend you to do, I think this will be a little bit of a grind. This will be in the sense of like a lot of thinking, analyzing, and a lot of um, nitpicking of strategies, decisions, and all of that. And I think some people liked my video that was about guess, like watch with me and analyze the errors. This will be more wide, which is watch with me and analyze best decisions. And yeah, Mr. Green versus me. He checks east. This is the. So get your item decks, get your item lists, like what GP for example does, or get some notes, get some helps, because again, this is a very detailed and a very layered game. If you have time, if you have focus, I hope you will like it. And if you want to something chill and fast, you probably or it may be not the game for you, you know. So, uh, but I especially picked this game because Warcraft asked a few weeks ago, how do you evaluate Hunter's power as Dracula? How do you evaluate, should you be sneaky, avoidant, run away, or should you be more brave and moving forward and not be afraid of hunters? So what I hope I will achieve in this one is to talk like with you when in this game should Dracula be afraid and when not, and which decisions potentially I make in this game are correct and which are incorrect. Maybe also on the side of the hunters, but you know, evaluating hunters is always a little bit of more difficult because a lot of the decisions depend on exact distribution of items and events. As per usual my strategy when I start east, I build a dual purpose trail, by which I mean I can go back and build lairs, or I can ditch the trail and try to escape uh, west through maybe Munich or Wolfform, or maybe even through the sea. So my first vampire is at 56, and I started in Klausenberg, Bucharest is revealed, and then Valona. So it is hard to reach for hunters, for actually every single hunter on the board. If I'll be going back to lairs, I will be again moving away from the hunters because I'll be building the lair in the direction 20, 28, 10, and 17. So this is the approach. Sometimes you start with the how you call it. Sometimes you start with the extreme in the extreme locations, and sometimes because you hope to mature. But if I started in an extreme location and then I was building lairs, I would be moving toward hunters. So I started a little bit closer, then moved with my trail away. So when I will be building lairs, I will also be moving away. And so I think this is actually like cute detail in the strategy. Mistergreen sees Bucharest revealed, sees I'm in the east, so hard to reach, and he starts moving out earlier. I don't disagree with that, actually. Uh, Godalming is the person that if he loses items or tickets, he can fast resupply. So, and dealing with the tray early means that other hunters will have more time to regroup, to supply, and he will have that few days more instead of like jumping at the very last second and maybe I don't know being disrupted by me if I will like try the night Dracula, try to protect my trail with myself, right? Then everything can be more messy. But right now, he can move that Godalming, he can deal with few trails. He will see a vampire, for example, without a rumor. Maybe he will leave it and he will just ignore some of the hideouts. Maybe he will clear hoaxes, spies, aristocratics, and he will free up some time early. The obvious downside is that the biggest supplier is moving around instead of supplying, so it delays the item deck. But that there are trade-offs with with very inconvenient and weird, risky east. I think like various approaches can be valid, and I think moving one hunter early uh, before Dracula will build up nasty traps, maybe death, killing, assassination traps. It it can be valid. It can be valid here. Mina is also moving early. I don't hate that. Two hunters, even if this is Godalming and Seward, I think in general are not enough to deal with East Dracula. Simply the Trail and Dracula both are too much trouble and too much power for hunters to be able to consistently deal with both. So yeah, I place Hoax. I'm not sure what to do here. Maybe I'll mature the new vampire, then it will be a little bit of a waste of a hoax. But on the other hand, maybe he will go for 50 and then he will search before going to 56. Then maybe he will get delayed. Maybe he will get wrecked by new vampire. Maybe he will kill new vampire but be wrecked and then stop moving forward. Maybe he will expect bats or saboteur at 50 and he will ignore 50 completely. Actually, me and Mistergreen played so many games against each other that we know well our patterns. And yeah, okay, confirmation. So he knows a lot about my trade. So and yeah, I guess we both know that 50 is really prime spot for both bats and saboteur. So maybe he will ignore it when he'll be under the pressure. And maybe I click for a little bit too short, but I recommend you to follow the discard piles and be and follow what is happening, because I think this something important was shown. Specifically, Van Helsing discarded a rifle. And it is important that a rifle was discarded, and it was discarded by Van Helsing. Okay, Saboteur is usually, I like Saboteurs. I think they play important role, but we are entering dangerous areas when I will be constantly moving in a tight area. We approach then dangerous times when I will be moving in a tight areas, and Saboteur will be not the best protection there. I will need probably something more dual purpose, in a sense that may be useful when I'm attacked, but may be still useful when matures. And I will not have time for hide tricks. It doesn't look like. If I will do a hide, I will do with something damagey in case someone joins and they will get damage. Yeah, and it is important. Godalming showed stake and didn't show Heavenly Host. Do you show Heavenly Host in this position? Dracula is healthy? In general, I think in this specific situation, yes, because it is still few days away. You don't want to give the opportunity to heal for Dracula. Maybe you will be in a position when you will use the Heavenly Host in some way anyway, and maybe Dracula will go back to the lair, and getting rid of that desecrated soil will weaken the lair. So I'm putting for now Godalming that he doesn't have a heavenly host. So we know 2 out of 3 of his items. And Mina uses horse. Luckily for me, it is a slow horse, but he didn't have that much time to work on tickets. Again, this is a downside of Godalming searching the trail. He's not the best only supplier for items, he's the best supplier for tickets. So he really accelerates finding the ones and fighting, like improving the ticket economy. Okay, let's see. He has pistol. Okay, we know right now a lot about Godalming. Pistol, stake, not heavenly host. Not sure if you noticed, but something really important happened this turn, which is Van Helsing discarded second rifle. It tells a lot. First of all, this is a rifle that other hunters don't have, and secondly, like, you can say double confirms that Helsing has really high quality items, because rifle is one of the best items on him. Like, there's obviously horse, but come on, horse, and there are heavenly host, yeah, heavenly host too, knife and rifle, and rifle for the low health Helsing is usually preferred item. So if he's discarding rifle, it means that he has something in there, right? So I know Godalming has a stake. I see that he's staking each evening. He doesn't try to save the stake. I'm ambushing. There's no reason not to, right? No combat event. And what does he have? He has 2 combat items, which is interesting. So I know he has pistol, stake, and 1 combat item. What can it be? Probably not heavenly host, right? It can be, obviously, but I wouldn't put him on that if I had to guess. Do I plot? Do I strength? He has a pistol, and pistol is really good in this situation, so maybe. No, he dodged. Mistergreen, please, why are you doing this to me? Use your pistol like a predictable hunter. No, he doesn't. Okay. This is like the 50-50 guess in a sense, right? Or he might have played against plotting, he might have played against damage. Okay, so, and he escapes, yes. Still decent in the sense that he's down to 7 health. So Godalming, one of his prime abilities is that he has a lot of health. Not anymore. He is damaged. He is down a ticket, and soon he will be down an item. So he has a lot of stuff to do. He has 2 combat items, which is interesting. And Seward, what does Seward do? I guess he should be waiting for Mina, right? Yes, okay. What does he discard? A pistol. Okay, so lots of rifles and pistols we can say are accounted for. One pistol has Godalming, one pistol is unknown. There are 2 rifles somewhere. Maybe one is on Helsing. Maybe even 2. That would be funny, right? Okay. I guess he's stake. No. Yeah. What will Mr. Godalming do? I guess he's staking, right? There's no reason not to stake, unless he's thinking that, okay, he will give me the 3 points instead of a stake, but is stake really worth it? He's in a big city. He still can supply, and probably wants to supply. Maybe I will speed up the game a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if what was going on here. Was he thinking on maybe what was he thinking about? Was he debating the stake? This is interesting stuff. A trade, obviously so. We'll start seeing double horses. Will Seward go alone and Mina stay back and supply? Quite dangerous turn because a lot of unknowns. Is in Austro-Hungary, so he knows where I am. And I go back to the lair because I have desecrated soil. That is not useful. I know I should be somewhat safe in here. So this is, I think this is, you know what? This is a little bit too sped up for a second. So, okay. Yeah, okay. I know I have a spy at 28 and desecrated soil at 10. I prepared to go back to Earth. So I decided that, okay, first of all, it might be worth going back to Lurs because I have unused desecrated soil. And desecrated soil is really decent, you know. I have, it is saved 3 health for later. So even if hunters jump on me and will fight a little bit, I have going back to there will give me that extra health. And I did 2 things here. So I have spy in 28 and I have aristocratic, and I put down aristocratic vampire. I decided that I don't need anything that protects me. Now, do you agree with me on that? It is quite dangerous. So 2 hunters traded, 1 hunter is close. With renewed vigor, there's a chance for 3v1 in theory. But first, I have a spy. So if 1 hunter jumps on me and I trigger the spy, they either lose a weapon or lose tickets, and those hunters need probably horses to jump on me. Secondly, oh wait, there's an important thing. You know what? That I missed in showing you. I'm not sure if you did follow. Because in my opinion, this is one of the regular things that hunters do, and sometimes they don't realize how much information this gives to Dracula. So Mina and Seward, they trade. He does nothing, and I see that after the trade, Mina is still showing a stake, which is quite important information. If hunters had 2 horses here, I would assume that usually what hunters like to do, Seward has a lot of item space, so he gets the stake, horse, and 2 combat items. Mina gets horse, combat item, and maybe a stake, maybe not. So usually what hunters do in this situation, and I don't know how much rigorous about this is Mistergreen himself, they shuffle items so that after the trade, Mina is showing horse because she will be showing it anyway while using, right? So my read on that is that probably they don't have 2 horses. Because hiding a stake is also quite valuable, when you're going around clearing trail and maybe Dracula doesn't know should he ambush, should he not ambush, and all of that with vampires. So my assumption is that probably Mina gave horse to Seward and doesn't have second horse, or Seward doesn't have horse himself to get from Mina. So I think that's another thing why I thought that I'm safe or not in a grave danger, because it's not like those 2 hunters can jump on me with a horse. Most probably they would need an event and move and renewed vigor, or without renewed vigor they can't even. It could be really hard for them to 2v1 versus me. And what is important too, not only, okay, so Mina and Seward are full health with unknown items, so they're like the most dangerous. Godalming has only 7 health, and I know that he has also a pistol and he's 1 item less because he used stake. So even if he uses sense of emergency on me, he'll go to very low 5 health, and I know one of his items, so he's also not like the top danger. And horses also not set up, so even if they'll try to horse on me, maybe their horses will fail, and all of that. And even if they jump 3v1, it is still okay, so it is just week 2. I can maybe still survive that and maybe run away to the castle or something like that. So I decided that, and obviously hunters don't know what is on the lair. Is it they are like still a little bit broken up in a sense that Godalming, obviously after all the trade clearing, he's a little bit tired. Mina didn't supply much, she moved a lot, so her items are probably not like top tier. So do hunters really want to risk probably spending renewed vigor to jump into unknown to encounter lair? Will they even reach me? Will they even find me? Extremely risky decision, probably too risky, especially that they have time. For 2 days, nothing is like 2 locations are clear. The Godalming both a lot of time. I think we now can see the results of Mistergreen early decision. Godalming, by moving early, he extended the game, but for both of us. Hunters have more time because they know my next location, it is Sofia, lots of things is cleared, but also I know that hunters are a little bit weakened, so I am a little bit safer, right? And I put bats into 10 because I really don't want hunters to cut my lair trail. I don't want a hunter to jump with sense of emergency, with charted courage, maybe even Godalming with a horse. No, he doesn't have a horse. and jump into 10 and cut my, you know, trail of flares. So if a hunter will go here to cut me away, especially if he knows that in 10 there's a soil, so there's only one potentially dangerous encounter, I want to use bats to move them away, and maybe even into mob, you know. So if hunters will try to disrupt my strategy, I was prepared for that. But this is another danger in the sense that 10 is not a very combat heavy lair. If I will get jumped there, you know, bats and desecrated soul will not protect me. So I need to watch out. What does hunter do in this position? Okay, this will be probably a lot of thinking, a lot of decisions, but I will not speed up this part. I jumped over the trait and the cute little detail. So we will be thinking a little bit, you know, prepare your deduction pipes, prepare your strategic cuts, or prepare hot cocoa maybe, whatever you prefer. A tea, some people I guess. Holy Circle. Godalming discarded Holy Circle. And this like rings a bell for me. In my mind, it is very probable that this is second Godalming item. That's why he is so courageously, courageful, courage, lots of courage. Uh, that's why he was so eager to go alone. And I think this is important clue. It may not be the item that he was keeping. Maybe he had something else, but it makes a lot of sense that it was his item, you know? Okay, and Stewart is riding a horse. This is important. And local rumors Vienna. This tells for hunters a lot. Only two locations. One, not really, you know, that probable. The 59. Actually impossible, I think. Still the 11. Was I there? Was I not? I don't know. You know what? Maybe local rumors didn't tell nothing. Okay, this is important. Godalming didn't heal. Godalming bought tickets. He really needs those tickets, it seems. Helsing working on tickets. So maybe that, you know, 2 on that Stewart horse. Maybe it was a fluke. What does Mina do? Mina is showing plant ambush. I don't know why the video quality is quite poor, but okay. It does look like plant ambush. And all are working on tickets. So I moved to Bucharest. Still dangerous preposition, but did Godalming just supply a horse? What are the odds? Does Mina have charted courage or sense of emergency? Maybe renewed vigor for Mina with a horse. Maybe, but then she has a horse and a stake. Not not very combat heavy, you know. And again, if I manage to escape as bats, if it will come to that, I can escape to the castle. That's why, especially that, you know, I have bats here, so if Stuart jumps onto me with a horse, or Godalming for that matter, I may bat him away, unless they spend first action to be safe against bats, but maybe they will not have safe horse. Do they want to risk that? So again, I'm still in my mind in a situation where hunters would risk a lot if they tried to ambush me here or jump on me here. And I'm on a reckless vampire, so at least some protection. And bats, yeah, protect a little bit with, against renewed vigor, and it would be quite unreliable and quite hard for hunters to jump on me without renewed vigor. And if they do, my trail slowly starts maturing, you know, Sophia is hoax. So pretty decent mature. Yeah, okay. Lots of thinking, and I'm not surprised because what do you do with godalming here? You know what? This is a maybe you can pause yourself the video, maybe you can think yourself because this is very strategical. This is where the game, every small decision, every action by every hunter impacts the game a lot. What hunters can do? They can move godalming to 17, Seward to 50, Mina, for example, to 53, or maybe yeah, something like that, and I'm surrounded. Is it worth? Constanta is a lair. Godalming will go there, and maybe there's a fog. Maybe by going there, he will make my move to Constanta safe, not dangerous. So maybe different approach. Maybe Godalming goes to 50, Seward jumps on me. Okay, probably not. Seward, where does go Seward? Maybe Seward goes to port cities like 55, 36 to block my wolf form. And Mina, if she has a horse, then goes to 49 to block another wolf form and try to surround me. But then again, my trail is full. Someone needs to deal with that. Probably, right? Not too many dangerous things was cleared yet. New vampires, so the lowest influence, no hoaxes. So hunters really need to take account for my trail and encounters maturing. A lots of questions. How do you answer? I mean, Godalming is damaged and maybe undersupplied. So I think staying with Godalming, like cutting off Dracula is cute and all, but if Dracula knows that one of the hunters is weak, that's not a good prospect. Garlic and Crucifix, which is interesting discards, so Godalming keeps his pistol, we know that. And he's discarding the, let's say, bottom tier items, especially in a many versus one combat. So we don't know if he supplied, like if he discarded pistol, it would be more dangerous because his hand then is very mysterious to us. But right now we still know that pistol is one of his best items, which doesn't really bode well for him, you know. uh, and Mina is railing. It is interesting. Rila uses rail, not a horse. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have a horse. Maybe simply she wanted to get here, and if she has a ticket, is simply more reliable, right? And now this is a key turn. This is a very, very decisive turn. Why? I, as a Dracula, have only basically two decisions to make. Okay, what's going on? Click the okay. Yeah. I'll pause the video for a moment to underline, because this is the key decision point, and for you to think yourself what is happening. I, as a Dracula, have only two locations to go. It is clear for hunters, should be clear. There is no other way for me to build a trail than 50, 6, 53, 28, 10. So I can go either to 17 into my lair, misdirect 6 or my lair 28, and maybe clear a lair, my lair in 17 to make a regular move a little bit obscured, or wolf form. My options are extremely limited by the way that hunters are positioned, and by how I build the trail. In a sense, we both worked for that, but this is, this is not something sometimes I repeat. This is not a sneaky Dracula. This is power Dracula that tries to power through. So for hunters, it is clear that I build the layers and I really want to go to 17. So what do you do as hunters, and should I go to 17 as Dracula? Before you answer, see what hunters do, because this is really smart and very strategic, and I like this about Mistergreen and his approach, how flexible he can be. So Sofia is next to maturing, right? If he will clear that, he will buy himself a day of time to be able to chase me all of that. But he doesn't clear Sofia. He does nothing as Steward. He trades with Godalming as Helsing, which is, I guess, like maybe a little bit of funny, because Helsing haven't supplied for quite some time. And remember that after he landed, he bought a ticket, he didn't trade. So why he's trading right now? What happened between his departure from London and now that he's trading with Godalming? In short, is it a bluff? Is it a bluff trade to pose like, oh, I'm adjusting Godalming, and Mina is buying a ticket? So what just Mistergreen did, like by his actions, Helsing trading with Godalming, Mina doesn't clear Szeged, she just bought a ticket, and Stewart is sitting in here. So he like poses a lot of threat. Like he basically by his actions says, you know what, I'm preparing to jump onto you next turn. And I think Stewart in general shouldn't have searched that, because there is one very important but very major detail. If 50 is bats, and he will search it, his next turn is a disaster. Because during the day, I can stay in place by using hide or darkle, and then he is in a big pickle, because he knows I can move Stewart onto myself into a nasty free encounters lair. And he doesn't know what there is apart from the secreted soul, but 2 encounters is actually big enough, and there's a rumor token, so probably some fighter vampire, right? And he doesn't have the best way to save him, to support him, because if he jumps with Godalming first, then I'll just push Stewart away and I will be with Godalming. So basically he will be able to only support with Mina one hunter that will jump here, right? Or maybe he'll desperately try to react and save Stewart with some speedy telegraph, I don't know, with some trade from Helsing or something like that, and I will just push him away. And I will have that crucial one more turn safety to go to 17. So I think in general it was a very smart decision to not search the 50 with Stewart, and then again he poses a lot of danger. So yeah, I'm stressed. This is a very difficult decision. I know I can build 17 with 2 vampires. So if there is some forewarned, yeah, I have a lot of thinking, and I hope you enjoy thinking and join the thinking process with me. Yeah, should I move to Constanta or not? Is it a good decision or not? Like, pause the video, maybe think for yourself, gather all the information that I talked to myself. Maybe you also think yourself about the situation, and decide should I move into 17 or not. Uh, is it a good decision or not? Thinking. Thinking. Uh, the thing is, I really want to win this because I lost against Mistergreen 2 times already. So I hoped that you are fast thinker, or that you post a video for yourself to analyze stuff. uh, and I move to Constanta. Now, before we will proceed, why do I think? I think in this position this is the best move. A little bit of banter in the chat to not so maybe Mistergreen thinks that I'm maybe a little bit trolling, maybe a bit risky, a little bit. But in the end, I think this is the best because my other options are simply really bad. If I Wolfram right now, if I Wolfram to 49, Mina can easily cut my direction off. He can check with Godaming 46 fairly easy. If I'm there, Stewart can join, and I will be on one encounter, and 2v1. Not fun times. Then Mina can clear 50, or Mina maybe can join. Stuff can happen. If I go to 55, my trail will be quite easily dismantled. Mistergreen doesn't know that, but I do know that. Hoax is a bit defenseless, right? 6 is only a mob, and unfortunately for me, it wasn't served. If one of the hunters were damaged, that would be cuter for me. 53 is just a bodyguard, so whenever a matures or gets cleared, it is not a big deal, right? And then there's entire week before this trail, but it is only a spy with aristocratic, so again, not that hard to clear. And 10 is really the problematic lair, but even if they ignore that, I will be without the wolf form for quite some time and some sea space. If I go to 17, yes, hunters know where I go, but I will be the best protected by 2 vampires. And it really matters because, first of all, Godaming has only 8 health and has a pistol. It tells me actually quite a lot about his state. He might not be able to even supply some of the prime items because he supplied for 2 turns. 4 items is a lot, but remember that there's one another very key ingredient in here, and it is Helsing. Helsing discarded 2 rifles already. So what does he hold? Rifles, knives, and heavenly hosts. And horses. Some of those items in combination. Which means that there's not that many top items left for other hunters. Stewart probably is the best prepared because he was first with Godaming, then he was supplying, then he was with Mina, so he is probably the best prepared. Godaming is a little bit, there is some random stuff, and still he didn't discard pistol, so he doesn't have the best stuff himself. Mina is a little bit unknown, but she's showing a stake, so she has a top 2 items. She may have a horse. She may have not even the top items herself. She may reach 17 with a ticket, but does she have the ticket? Maybe she didn't supply for the good ticket, right? There were some issues with horses, so maybe Stewart will not even horse onto me. Will hunters use renewed vigor? If yes, then I have. If Stewart will get a short horse at 10, I can bat him away, so he'll not reach me. So there are a lot of there are a lot of countermeasures and protections, right? That maybe hunters will not be able to reach me 3v1, and even if they will, they may be not the best prepared. Especially that again, Godaming has only 8 health and I will be on 2 vampires. I can deal him about 4 damage, maybe even more. So in the end, I decided that I go, especially that if he will jump on me and I will survive, I have that soil somewhere maturing. I have hoax just right now maturing. So if he will jump on me, this will be also quite important. If he will actually jump for me, on me, and I will survive, I will gain a lot from that because of my trail maturing. So now I'm thinking, what do I put at 56? Simply because I'm just thinking in the case when Stewart, when Mistergreen uses renewed vigor and Stewart rolls 1 on his horse on the first action, then probably the best direction for him to go is through 56. So what do I put there? Like, obvious thing is Saboteur, just because it is cheap and delays him, so he loses the action. The second option is obviously Spy, because if he goes through the Spy, it can really hit well. But then I decided, you know what? He may just show his stuff. He doesn't need a horse, like the tickets, so he can follow with full power. And in the end, I decided when use mob actually pretty decent too, because I can whop him for a lot of damage. There are 2 vampires, lots of good options. I decided on the fog. Okay, decided already. Yeah, this is dual purpose just because if he will, for example, jump with Stewart first for some reason, maybe I can fog both of them. That would be funny if there is no forewarned. And that can be. Hunters are not that deep supplied. There are still 53 events, right? So that would be funny. But also, what if hunters don't jump onto me? So this is important because then Godalming, maybe he will just search 56 to clear the lair ahead of a time and deny me that way my going through lairs or some lair power. And he has a pistol, so Saboteur can be cleared, Spy, not a big deal, but Fog suddenly would unlock me going through 56. And then, after building this nasty trail of lairs, then I can wolfform pretty happily away. And yeah, I decided, you know what, since we are entering danger times, I want to rumor my aristocratic. My hope is that hunters will clear this lair, maybe get delayed or waste a stake on aristocratic, and then this vampire will be a nuisance. But I decided, you know what, maybe hunters will ignore it. So if I mature this one, I want to get my 7 points, just like that. And now the big decision point: what will happen? Nothing yet. What does it mean? Do hunters just move onto me, or that's why they don't use renewed vigor? No, they leave me alone. A big success. If I panic wolfformed. If I estimated that I have to run away, then I would put myself into disadvantage because right now, yeah, I've built a cute lair myself, right? And again, Godalming is discarding trash items. He still is holding onto his pistol. Jun Stewart is supplying. This is understandable. This is cute. Because he can search at night. So not fun times for me. That uh, another rifle. This is third rifle discarded by Helsing. So there is an issue with Hunter items, but Hunter just supplied for free events, so it is very dangerous, you know what? Godalming is getting back his health. Yes, a stake, which is kind of a relief because I know that Stuart has a horse and had a stake, so he has two combat items. So not like top notch combat ready, hopefully. What does Helsing do here? Lots of thinking. Yeah, Helsing still is on one ticket, so he has some work to do. And he trades again with Godalming, which is interesting because Helsing did get new events, Godalming got new event. So it's not like Godalming is getting buffed right now. Does he? Is he getting something away from him? What is happening with this trade? It is interesting. And Mina is searching with a stake, yeah, understandable, and a mob. So not a big deal, right? And actually, it is a massive deal. She didn't show any weapon. So, yeah, that was a massive, very tense turn. Are your hands trembling a little bit? Mine are like, a little bit stressed, all that tension. I might have lost a game here. I mean, all of us were had those moments when we make Dracula move and then hunters just jump you, and that's why a lot of us are really scared on moving so that hunters can jump you freely. But I think this is like quite an important lesson that sometimes you need to take the risks because all decisions are risky. If I jump away with wolf form or try to misdirect crew trails and move sneakily or something like that, that takes a risk too. It just delays the risk for future turns. If I wolf form, I'm in a risk for next week without the wolf form, right? So I think this is actually the lowest risk decision. Sitting on two vampires against next to damaged, hopefully undersupplied Godalming, that we know that he has a pistol, right? Having the trail like Hawks next, like being able to next to mature. So now this turn got us a ton of information. First of all, Seward has at most two combat items. Secondly, Mina has no combat items and she is delayed for this turn. And third, hunters have some big item issues because Helsing keeps discarding good items. Okay, rifles are not knives, but rifles are still good items. If free rifles, it means that if free rifles are discarded already, and Helsing is carrying some combination of knives, last rifle, and heavenly hosts, and horses, then those hunters are limited on those items themselves. Like Mina clearly doesn't have one. Seward most probably has at least one, maybe a heavenly host. Maybe Godalming has an issue finding a combat item that stops bats. And if if Mina doesn't have an item that stops bats, and Godalming has issue finding an item that stops bats, then actually I am in a really good spot. You know, it is really hard to kill Dracula from 15 health in 2 turns, even in 3v1. Especially that Mina. I know that Mina probably doesn't even have. If I will not like choose Mina in a combat, then probably she will do the most damage is a punch. Maybe she's running with Heavenly Host, but stake Heavenly Host and no weapon, not probably not, probably not. So what do you do now as Dracula? You know, I have a really cute trail of lairs that will most probably, I mean, it will give me points. It will give me influence. I don't think there's a really reliable way for hunters to clear aristocratic. Is easy, but maybe it's take, but at least it will delay, so it makes other clearing harder. Bucharest has reckless and bats, so yeah, it can mess. And Constanta is two vampires, so even with ambushes and probably something will mature. So I will get some points. What do I do? Definitely I don't wolf from here. I mean, so I have basically how many options? I have two options. Either go to Plaxi. I can stay in Constanta, but I don't like that because it doesn't give me anything. If I go to Plaxi, at least I'll start building distance when the trail is maturing. So at least I have that. If I stay here, hunters can already start preparing for me leaving, right? I will give free turn for hunters. But there is a second option, and that option is to mess with hunters even more, abuse their problems. And I think this is very important when you try to estimating hunters' power and hunters to notice hunters' problem is that when you see that hunters have some issue with their horses, you just sneak in the night and break wheels in their carriages. You want to be that irritating, nasty, abusive guy. You bring Dracula. If you see that, if you hear that hunters are complaining that that they're feeling sick, you just run to all the doctors and make ton of appointments. So it is really hard for hunters to find help, right? If you hear that hunters are hungry and undersupplied, you just run away to stores and get all the bread from there, so they will keep hungry. And this is what I try to do here. I want to double down and abuse the fact that hunters have so many problems. And yeah, I moved to Varna. Walk onto Godaming. He is not still fully healed, so I want to abuse that. I know one of his items, so I hope that combat screen will tell me already a little bit of what is happening. And I know that a lot of stuff, good stuff is on Helsing, and I know that Mina is delayed. If I will first get a fight with Godalming, hopefully I will damage him. Hopefully I will get some knowledge about his combat items, and then if he will want to join with Seward, I still have the fog that I put before. Does he have forewarned? And whatever the answer is, I really want him to move here, because if he doesn't have forewarned, then both hunters are stuck. If he does have forewarned, I want him to use forewarned on my layered fog. My encounters are soon to be reshuffled. Maybe this desecrated soul will trigger more, so I will get my fog back, but hunters will not get their forewarned back. And I don't think I'm dying here. And if I will get damaged, again, I have that soil. This is like my banked health for the future, and I can still feed, especially if I escape as bats. So, yeah. Hunters tried to pose strength 2 days ago, but I, called the bluff, and the more I called the bluff, the weaker and weaker they appeared. So I want to abuse that. You're like the bully, that didn't pass few classes and you should be going to high school, but you still keep in, primary school, maybe you're still in kindergarten because you're just messing up your grades and you just pick. You're that bully around the kids, and it's not like you bully the kids. You pick the weakest kid out of the bunch and you walk up to them. That's how you play Dracula. In some cases, sometimes you need to hide and run away because those kids have guns and knives, and it it's a different story then, right? Yeah, I mean, uh, even a kid with a gun, maybe a little bit of a hard challenge to approach sometimes. Lots of prompts. Let's see what happens. And I think important note is that Agatha is not here. If Agatha was, so I know that even if I lose some damage, some health in the combat, I may have chance to heal. So he's thinking a little bit here what to do. One prompt seems to be very important for him. Maybe it was renewed vigor. Maybe he was thinking I supply and heal with Godaming, sewer jumps, and this is key. Godaming has one combat item, and we know what it is. It is a pistol. What are so? This is a question for you. How close do you follow what is happening? What are Godaming items? I think we can answer that with very high degree of probability, with a very narrow choices. You can tell me all three Godaming items. And this is important. So, this is in a way already quite a success for me because I know that I'm fairly safe. Now, here's the question. Will he just escape or will he start punching me? I don't have that much to do. I don't want to risk him just escaping to my strength. So yeah, I mesmerize. I fully accept that this is Mistergreen and he might use opportunity here to punch me in the face just to deal damage to Dracula. It is a little bit different in combats versus vampires and combats versus Dracula because that damage may be important. It has a different feeling dealing one damage to vampire that you're taking anyway and getting that one more damage closer to victory. Yeah, okay. So he has a pistol and two non-combat items. I'm playing here strength. I'm not even hesitating. And he plays a pistol, which for me rings a bell that yeah, it can be. I mean, he was dodging previously, so he may be just mixing up. But it really rings me a bell that it can be bullets, It can be quite dangerous. I mean, bullets right now will deal me 4 damage and make him discard the card, but still it is 4 damage, So yeah, I expect him to run away now. Probably he lost too much health. He doesn't want to stay with me like punching, right? So that previous punch didn't matter, and I just dealt Godalming 4 damage. So this was actually really big. Like in many cases, you can consider that day fights are obviously advantages to hunters, but not when hunters are not prepared for the combat. And I just weakened his ability to even 2v1 me here. He is not that good shape to even if he joins, even if he has full warrant. I can endanger Godalming. He may die, or I may escape as bats. So it is not really a good spot for hunters to fight me. So what do you do? Do you supply a horse? Makes sense. And runs away. I think this is probably, like, on the one hand proper decision, but where does he run away? All the big cities are my lairs in range, so not very comfortable, not very comfortable. Not easy decision. He can run away to 6. There is still my encounter. uh, who who will clear that encounter? No, not easy to say, right? So maybe he does that, but if he goes onto my encounter, he'll keep getting weaker and weaker, because I already know that uh, Mina is not dangerous at all, and Godalming is not that very dangerous. So basically, only Seward is a dangerous hunter here, and this is something really cool to abuse. But he blocked the port city, and like the important one, the 50, the 55. So if I will wolf form, I can go to 36. But where do I go next? I mean, maybe on to Godalming, right? But it will be different story. I will not have the fog on me. He may heal by that time a little bit, maybe even get some more events. Seward, I think this is also a really good decision. That Seward is staying here and blocking my next lair possibility. And Godalming and Helsing is moving forward, so he's calling help. It is interesting that he moved normally, so he doesn't have a horse. If he had a horse, I think he would have horsed here. So again, if he doesn't have a horse, and he has at most one rifle and only better items, it means that there are some 2 knives or 2 heavenly hosts. Which is interesting, because the fact that I know about Helsing means that I know more about other hunters. Again, big deal. So what do you do as Dracula here? What do you do as hunters? The thing is, yeah, clearly hunters have issues with supplies. They are undersupplied. Maybe they moved too much, but clearly they had some just bad luck with items. Helsing got that rifle after rifle after rifle. If the items were a little bit more spread out, if Mina had a rifle, that would be a different story already. Just one more rifle, right? But I think this is also quite important in Dracula gameplay, to noticing that issues and trying to abuse them. Still, this is not if this is difficult, but not like horrendous spot for hunters. If they will allow that rumor token to mature, all my lairs are being cleared. And then what? And yeah, okay, 7 points, but they can stack up, they can resupply, they can heal, find lair, vampire lair, find events, and all my hard work building lairs. Not that important if they're cleared by vampire, right? So yeah. And still, if Mina doesn't have weapons, what does she has? What does she have? Maybe 2 stakes. Maybe that was her job. Maybe that was Mistergreen plan. 2 hunters to fight, to combat Dracula. 1 hunter to clear the trail. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So what do you do here as Dracula? I think if you want, you can pause by yourself and think a little bit. But so yeah, if you want to pause, just pause and come back. Welcome back. At this position, I think you see where this is going. There is no reason for me to go to the sea yet. Because if I go to the sea, hunters will be free to do whatever they want for over a week. They just ignore this rumor token, they just let me mature, and they supply, heal, and try to build a comeback, which may be difficult actually. I can go by the sea quite a lot and then land, but they're still pretty early. This is still only week 2, so it's not like I will be able to outweigh them and then just land for 2 land movements, especially that the vampire lair is still a threat. So Dracula is walking along the beaches, beautiful views, sunsets. He puts his toe into the sea. No, the sea is cold. I don't want to go to that water. Salty, cold, black. No, not very fun beach. I mean, you can go and check Black Sea yourself. Maybe Dracula has simply bad taste. But yeah, I know that Mina is not a threat, especially that my mob is just maturing. So she just get even more battered and even or discarded items. So even if she has charted courage, she is not a threat. I know that Goleming is not a big threat, and my desecrated soil is moving down and down the trail. So even if I will get jumped, even with some heroic leap, I know that I have that banked healing that will come to me. So I can move a little bit dangerous. I can be attacked. And basically Mistergreen has 2 choices here. Either completely forfeit me and let me do whatever I want, or jump me this turn. I definitely don't put anything that doesn't help my combat. I pick mob. I mature mob to weaken, obviously, right? I mature mob here because I want to weaken hunters as much as possible. Yeah, so already I know that the only Steward is dangerous, and I'm happy to take Steward 1v1. And Mina discarded Stake and Crucifix and is showing Stake, so it really explains a lot. It also really shows, I think, pretty smart and efficient management by the Mistergreen. Mina was there to simply deal with vampires. With the double stake and crucifix, entering a lair with 2 combat vampires is not really that great of a danger for her anyway, right? She just shows crucifix to first vampire, tries to escapes second vampire, and just double stakes them and be done with it. And while she is doing that, she doesn't need her scans when I'm in a tight space going through lairs. The 2 combat heavy hunters are trying to rough me up. So this is very efficient approach. And obviously Helsinki is a wingman on the side, right? A little bit of bad luck for him to that Godaming didn't had top items, but still he got a horse. He got heavenly bullets, holy bullets, right? So what do you expect? Get a rifle instead of the pistol? Makes sense. If he had pistol and rifle instead of the bullets, not that scary. If he had a knife, yeah, big deal. Heavenly host, maybe not. With that fanging around, can be dangerous. So yeah. So what does Mistergreen do? Basically, I am 49 or 46, one of 2 locations, right? Does he stay in place and let me escape? Now it is completely different animal of a beast of a story, because now if my lair matures, I will get there's still 1 location to be cleared, so I'm building a trail and I may hide here for it to be a little bit more nasty, or I may lair the first lair yeah, lair this hideout with the first armor token and maybe mature the second hideout, so it will clear my my wolf form. So it is not that convenient for him to just let me be, let mature and come back. I basically clearly putting pressure, and especially that if he stays here, I already showed him that I'm able to move on the Godalming again, and Godalming will just need to keep running and running away. I will be damaging him, and Mina cannot help. So yeah, what does he do? And I think in the end, he... Okay, prompts. What will happen? His assessment is, if I'm at 49, he probably can manage that in some way. So he decides to... I will speed up for a second. So after lots of thinking, he decides to move Godalming onto me and just try and contest me here. Because then if it's a fog, I think for him it is fine. Okay, one fog out, right? If it's something combatty, okay, it's something combatty. But at least, again, he can leave that first hideout to be matured, and all the trail is empty, and maybe he will deal me some damage, maybe he will endanger me, and he will force me to sea already, because he really wants me to stop moving by land. Okay, lots of thinking, and risk it. This is, for me, very understandable, very in Mistergreen nature. You finally need to pull the trigger, you know. And Godalming, 6 health, only pistol. At least pistol protects from claws, right? So yeah, I trigger the mob. Does Mistergreen have forewarned? And if he has, does he use it here? What would you do as hunters, by the way? Is it forewarnable here? This is very dangerous for hunters. On the one hand, I think this was a forewarned prompt. And now, so this is very important knowledge for me. Yes, so Seward. No, so this, there was no forewarned prompt thing. I think there were 2 prompts for discarding items. Godalming is on 3 health, and Seward is on 6 health. Maybe both will die. Okay. Helsing. Probably thinking, should he trade something? Should he supply? Okay, I will speed up a little bit. The thinking is very tense. But you know what. So we're entering a 2v1 with damaged, not top supplied in items. And I have the soil maturing soon. So yeah, lots of fun stuff. If I will not like fold the combat entirely, which can happen, as you were able to see in my previous video, Mistergreen is really good at combat, being that unpredictable, actually guessing me what I do, and with all the various approaches. Okay, Helsing supplies. What did he discard? Okay, what is the event? He discards an event. And he discarded a heavenly host. That is a big deal, you know? I mean, it it keeps telling a lot. And Mina is going back. Yeah, she decided. Okay. Now, Lucy's Revenge, Lucky Find, all of the stuff is being fired up. And yeah, this is obviously before the beta. Not sure if obviously, but before the beta, so I don't have the knowledge, so I just ask him politely. And fortunately for me, lucky find was on Seward. So Godalming kept being that low supply, right? With uh, only one uh, pistol with probably bullets. And Seward discarded a knife. So it tells you a ton again. If Seward discarded a knife, there were items that there was a knife and something else, and knife was discarded. So Seward has 3 combat items, and he has probably a knife, probably a heavenly host, and probably a second knife or rifle, something like that. Rifle here, he really makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a choice. If he has a knife and heavenly host, he has a choice to pick rifle or knife, and he decided on rifle just because, with all that damage, preventing him from getting more damage is a big deal. So I really pray to get mesmerize or strength, or at least fangs, which actually is a lot of a lot of combat cards. So I am able to break that Godalming pistol and not bother about the bullets, or at least fang Seward's heavenly host. But maybe he will just knife me first, to counteract that. I don't know what happened. Probably I needed to step away. Okay, I'm back, and I have strength. So for me, at first it is no-brainer. I think usually hunters, when they have bullets, they usually play it round 1, which I think is understandable because pistol is countered actually by a lot of stuff, and rifle, right? It is countered by strength, it is stopped by mesmerize, so you just try to get it as early as possible. Especially that, if hunter gets mesmerized earlier, then also fangs stop the weapon. That's one of the reasons why the bullets are considered really not the best item, because there are a lot of conditions that the bullets simply don't go off. There are a lot of combat Dracula combat cards that stop it, where Heavenly Host is stopped only by fangs, and knife is stopped by strength and mesmerize, but not fangs when you are mesmerized. So yeah, and Heavenly Host. Okay, I got 4 damage, but Godalming has only fists, 1 health, right? And Jun Seward is left with 2 items. Not the best deal for him. Not the best. So what will he do? I can try clawing Godalming. I will speed a little bit up. What you would do? What do you think? Lots of thinking, yeah. So what would you do? Godalming is not a danger. If he runs away, Lucy Revenge runs away with him. Maybe leave him alone. Maybe close Seward. Maybe he has a snipe right now. Or maybe he runs away with both hunters. That could be quite understandable, to protect his lives. I will slow down for a little bit. I think there are a lot of lines, and as Dracula, I can actually pick a lot of cool stuff what I can do. So, and this is good if Dracula can do that. So yeah, I decided if I kill Godalming, it will be really cool, get points, and he punches that madman. Madman, really? Okay, he prevents 2 health. And now I have a decision. This is really interesting. So Lucy Revenge, right? Waiting for Mistergreen. This is funny. It doesn't say. So yeah. So I want to confirm if he used Lucy Revenge. It may be a dumb question. Yeah, I would say he has Lucy Revenge, but maybe he used Great Strength. Because for me it is. This is really interesting point. Maybe I don't kill Godalming. Maybe I just close Seward and run away as bats. Round 3, right? I'm free as bat. Godalming cannot stop me. He is in combat. Lucy is out. I can just escape as bats. And But when you consider it, where do I escape to? Where I am in a hurry? To super supplied housing that keeps discarding good items? To Mina that will start supplying and healing? I won't be far away from hunters. I want to try to kill a hunter, get some influence points, accelerate the game because I can do this right now. But yeah, and I consulted with Mistergreen, so he may actually decide to let me kill Godalming with great strength and not trigger great strength to not allow me to run away with bats. So actually, this combat was a little bit more dangerous than on average you could expect, in a sense that it was Lucy Revenge, really awesome event, right? Lucky find, very important here. Oh, and rifle. Yeah, understandable. I think Mistergreen was trying to counteract that, maybe as Dracula, I tried to claw Seward and then finish off Godalming, or get rid of the Lucy Revenge, and that way, but Godalming still deals me damage. That would be cool if it worked off, but yeah. Okay, now, does Godalming dodge here, or does he run away? Lots of thinking. Yeah, Mistergreen usually considers various options because as far as I understand, he considers what will happen over next rounds, not only how to pick cards for this round. Sometimes he rolls dice, which makes him very unpredictable. So what do you do here? I can bet that Seward doesn't have second rifle. I mean, I know that. I know that Seward doesn't have a second rifle, nor he has a pistol, so I can claw Seward and probably finish Godalming. I can't try attacking Godalming, but what if he dodges, right? And Seward knifes me. I'm at 7 health. All that talk, all that stuff about, how many issues hunters have, how problematic it is, all that is out of the window. If I'm at 7 health, John Seward will knife me, and I'll be at 4 health. Cute. I killed Godalming. I can't even run away to sea. And, Seward will just heal up, and Seward alone can try killing me, or heroic leap, or stuff like that. So I decided, what did I decide? I decided to fang Godalming, escape as bats, claw to kill Godalming, or strength to break a Seward's knife. Yeah, Seward maybe is running away here, but if that's the case, that's not that big of a deal. I decided to play long game, and I'm quite happy to guess the knife, but I think if there's a knife in a discard, it means that John Seward has knife in his items. I think there's no working around that. So I decided to play around that because I think it is quite clear to see that if I got knight here for 3 damage, I would start being in a quite difficult spot and the game would start running away from me. So I don't think Mistergreen would pass that opportunity. He might. He can do various decisions, be random and be very hard to predict. But yeah, I decided I need to play around that, especially that right now none of those hunters have anti-fangs weapons, and there is no Agatha. So I can heal, and I know that Godalming is not dealing me damage this turn. He's escaping. It's a shame. But oh well. But now I'm free to fang, and I can start fanging to get. I can start fanging to get my health back, and all that. And I think I don't need to build distance. I don't need to big sneakiness. If I will stay high on health, Hunters simply lack items to deal me damage. Hunters actually lack hunters to deal me damage. So this is my long-term strategy. And long-term strategy to take away Hunter's ability to deal me damage and to get my health back. So Hunters lost 3 items, having a host pistol and a knife this combat. And for now they dealt me 7 damage. What will happen if he will dodge? It is not that big of a deal. If he will rifle, a little bit of a shame, but he dodged. Okay, but he keeps in the fight. So yeah. I just hope he will run away, to be honest, because I want to get to 9 health. Let's see what happens. Yeah. And not much stuff. If I have second Fangs, simply with sword items, Fang is an easy choice, right? If he rifles, Ice turn, damage neutral, and he loses health, then I can decide if I want to escape as boss or not. Why not, to be honest? And if he punches or escapes, I just get back my health, so Hunters are totally demolished for dealing 5 damage and expanded, and I lost only 5 health, so yeah. And I just now check to see all the stuff. Yeah, pistols, bullets, another heavily, not the bad. Yeah, pistol, bullets, dogs, and knife discarded, and then pistol and knife broken, and heavenly host blasted. Then again, if that heavenly host was a knife, so this is funny sometimes, right? If that heavenly was a knife, okay, it would deal 1 less damage. Oh my, but he would have the knife that can stab me again and again and adapt more damage and protect, stop me from healing maybe. So yeah, in this combat actually having sword with double knives and rifle would be more dangerous than with knife, heavenly host, and rifle. Okay, so hunters are not in the best spot. Heavily damaged, they just barely survived, both of them, right? I think I was able to kill Seward if I... Did I use both claws or did I use one claws? I think I used only one claws, yeah. Van Helsing is trading. I wonder what is in there. And Mina is still keeping that plant ambush, right? Maybe he needed to shuffle that around. They basically have rifle from combat items between 2 hunters. And Mina has no combat items. Suddenly, hunters are thrown into the Stone Age, basically. Helsing is the only hunter here that can fight in combat, and reason is because he wasn't doing too much, to be honest. So what do you do as Dracula here? At this point, while previously you might think of running away to sea, and I understand that, like many of us died many of times, caught by hunters with events, with some lucky, unlucky combats, with renewed vigors and catching up. So obviously, you don't go to sea here, right? I can go to 55, being Adriatic. I can go to the lair, to the 50. But also, do you remember what I mentioned, that when you see that hunters have issues, you just help them to get those issues deeper. Yeah, so there's a next idea that, okay, if hunters are hurt, you make appointments to the doctors so they can't find doctors to heal. Maybe you can do more. Maybe you dress up as a doctor, walk up to the hunters, they show you, oh, I'm hurt, and then you bite them. And they're like, oh no, it's not a doctor. It's a Dracula. And yeah, the fact the 36 combat 36 was very decisive. If I went down to 4 health, hunters would be in a tough spot, but definitely winnable. But right now, I'm simply like running away from them in a sense that the game is slipping. Hunters are getting weaker and weaker when I'm at 12 health. What do you do here? Right? Uh, he has no ability to fight me, and yeah, obviously I know there's no way for hunters to. Okay, obviously I know that there's no way for hunters. I try to jump a little bit to speed up through the long downtimes, because this game is quite long and I'm talking a lot. But I warned you, this is like very deep, nitty gritty analyzing game. So yeah. So what do I do? It would be cool to heal this in this fight, because why not? And it would be cool to kill. It is possible, right? So I have Fangs and I have Mesmerize. So actually, this honestly is quite lucky that I got that important stuff that I wanted. Obviously, Mistergreen can double escape turn 1, and then mesmerizing one of the hunters, you go into 1v1, you can try killing one of them. And this is cool. But I have a guess on Mistergreen that he will not run away turn 1, that he expects mesmerize, so I fang. And okay, if he double escaped, wouldn't be too bad. I still would go to 14 health. But he punched. And that's the danger of guesses and staying in combat, right? Is that now Godalming is very killable person. If I have like claws here or second fangs, he can try dodging, or he can try escaping, and he, if he needs to basically keep guessing correctly or die. And the thing is that Stuart is so under-equipped and in low health, he can't really support him that well. Like, he can stay on the side and maybe rifle here and there and punch. Not the biggest of the deals, right? Use the punch. But then if he stays too long, maybe I will kill him. He doesn't know that. I don't have anything to deal him damage, sadly. So I just mesmerize to prolong, If he dodges now and then I got claws or fangs, then I know I can kill him. So like dodging can be very risky because yeah. And Stuart escaped. At least one of them will survive this carnage. Okay. Whoop. And yeah, okay. I skipped over because this is, in my opinion, like very interesting, but also, why to show 30 seconds of thinking. So I played plotting. He was able to play dodge or punch, and this is just a guess. And the issue is that one wrong guess by hunters and he dies. And he needs to keep guessing correctly, and even then he may die, right? Because I may just draw claws and fangs and where he doesn't have a dodge, and then just fang him. Yeah, okay. So this is the unique power that you can actually rarely see, that resilience of Dracula, of combat Dracula, that two combat hunters were trying to stop me, and I'm at 14 health. That one damage dealt to me is by my wolf form. So Hunters tried hard, expanded items, expanded events, expanded themselves. Yeah, and didn't succeed. And basically made no progress, right? So this is one of the reasons why I also wanted to show you this game, to like fully embrace the power of Combat Dracula, and to to maybe encourage you a little bit to try it yourself. Yes, you will lose a lot of games. You can see that on my channel too. Anyway, right? Uh, and yes, it is risky, but you know what? Any decision is risky, and you can always, if you keep avoiding hunters, you can also lose the games. But if you are able to mix the strategies, if you are able to get some experience with combat, to read hunters, read their items, read their intentions, read their strategies, to plan your strategy. Like, oh, it's not always like, oh, I can escape as bats, so I just escape as bats. Maybe it is, I don't have a reason to escape as bats. Maybe I can try healing in combat, right? And prolong the combat, because actually combat benefits me. Then this is like that one more important tool in your toolkit that you can add, and you can see, oh, hunters have issues with combat items, not necessarily their fault. This is like the random effect. Yeah, abuse that. If they don't, that's the time to keep the distance, or try to pick them apart, or use different tools. But if I tried to be sneaky this game, I I wouldn't have even known that hunters have issues with items, and I would be just able to do the standard stuff with clearing trail, reorganizing, trading. Ah, this is cute detail. I misdirect Varna with the fog, because just in case Mina with a stake and charted courage runs into 10 and tries to stop it, uh, I don't want. I know that I don't need fog in 10, so I don't want my uh, encounter deck to be reshuffled and my fog not get into second rotation. So I just misdirected my fog. So if the desecrated soil, if the desecrated soil is triggered, I will get the fog reshuffled in the second rotation. Because I don't plan on maturing Klausenberg, I want to layer it, because I'm quite convinced that probably 10 will mature, and if it will, I will get my Wolfram back. And that's the deal, right? And also I will get like the desecrated soil healing, which is not a big deal anymore. But also I have I have the 28, which is Lair, and I'm heading back there. So yes, I think I can speed up now a little bit, because there will not be much interaction for some time. Hunters simply, and yeah, by the way, economic head bullets as a confirmation on a proper read, right? So uh, hunters cannot interact with me in any major way, because Seward is undersupplied and damaged. Mina is undersupplied. Is she still damaged, by the way? Helsing is far away. So what do you do as hunters here? Actually, what do you do? And what do you do as hunters, and how do you prepare for that as Dracula? This is I mean, there's still over a week. A lot of stuff can happen. still renewed vigors, consecrated grounds. I saw no renewed vigors, and which is funny, hunters were not really in a position to renew vigor, right? That it didn't matter that much. Maybe renewed vigor with speedy telegraph would save some health. Maybe it would save great strength, but Mina is still healing. Yeah, is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. So now I'm maturing. I want my 7 points, 1 health. So this is like consolidation price. I was able to lose a little bit more health in all that fighting and still be fine, still be at full health. So yeah, the difficult stuff for hunters. Little bit difficult for Dracula in the sense that it would be really it wouldn't look good if I lose from this position, you know, and it may happen. Mistergreen is able to pull off some crazy risky plays. He doesn't go down without swinging. He does some weird guesses. He does some extreme combats, and you know, you were able to see in that combat even here in 46. Hunters were undersupplied. I was breaking their stuff. I was doing a lot of stuff. One wrong guess, and I would be easily down to 3 health, 4 health, something like that, right? Especially if I greeded out for Godalming kill when he was running away and I got knifed. And yeah, you need to be careful. Horses are in the second item rotation right now. Stewart is far away, but he has a horse. So one more. So you know, actually, item deck is reshuffled. We saw. So there's one horse kicking about somewhere. Yep. So Godalming, Helsing, or Mina has a horse right now, which is again a little bit dangerous. I can be caught. Right now, I need to keep abusing the position as I was currently, right? Of that hunters are not prepared yet, but keep a ear to the ground or like keep close tabs. Because if Mina, Helsing, and Seward will have horses and they will get a renewed vigor to jump me 3v1, it doesn't matter what happened. It is late enough that 3v1 they can kill me. And a little bit of a maybe not issue, but a little bit of harder to predict than usual stuff about hunters is that their second rotation of items is actually really good. There is a bunch of knives, heavenly hosts, and rifles. Usually, second item rotation is, you know, all the maybe not crap, but all the bottom tier stuff that was filtered in the first rotation, and hunters keep the best items for themselves. And this is a little bit of advantage, I think, quite often not very considered or underlined for hunters, that if you supply items early but stop at some time, and then you go into all that mess and struggle with Dracula, and then you shuffle your item deck, your second item rotation is much more dangerous than if you just supply, and do a little bit, right? And you lose your items in combats and spies, all of that in the second rotation, then most probably you will not see them in time. Right now, still, Mina has Garlic Wretch. So Anne is not in full health. She is not the most dangerous. And I am in my epic. Okay, I'm in my epic 4 encounter lairs. There's one aristocratic that doesn't matter, but still there's spy, wolves, and actually right now I don't remember what more. So I'm like very in 2v1 scenario. I'm really well prepared. Against 3v1 scenario, little bit tougher, but who knows, right? Especially if hunters are not fully prepared for the fight because they're rushing me. And still, lucky find, great strength, loses revenge. All of this is down, very importantly. So only plant ambushes. Yeah, only plant ambushes from combat events. And obviously heroic leap, but heroic leap at this point not that scary when I'm at full health. You know, I'm next to the castle. Right now, hunters, if they walk onto Dracula, they really need to kill him, not deal 1/3 of his health. Ooh, not what. Okay, not too good, you know. Ooh, and Mina totally not in a shape. Interesting. What do you choose? Plant ambush or knife? You know what? I would say both are good. I mean, if she doesn't have a knife, then plant ambush is useless. Why did they put her here, not in Munich? Yeah, so knife is down. And more importantly, I know how unprepared she is. No dangerous events, no dangerous items too. And this is like third holy bullets. So also I'm aware that no one else has holy bullets. Good stuff. Yeah, still obviously he's behind. He needs to resupply rapidly to put some pressure back onto me and not to lose stuff. So yeah, was it a good call? Maybe. Hard to tell. It really depends. I mean, yeah, seeing Mina events, not hot stuff. Van Helsing has two. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very important also not only to kill the knife, but also know that Mina is no danger. So basically, again, it is 2v1. Helsing is dangerous most probably. He supplied a lot and discarded a lot of important stuff. Seward, who knows? He has rifle, which is dangerous in itself, but he doesn't have the bullets. Night supply, I understand that. Yeah, you like the the deeper in trouble you are, the more desperate you need to play. Okay, so I'm on 4 combat encounters, 4 helpful encounters. One is aristocratic, which is also important because it is a clock. Sofia is rats and something. Oh, and a renewed vigor. Interesting. Yeah. Not surprised he may think that I left my lair. Maybe one more day. But the scary thing is, he waits one more day and suddenly I wolf form. and I'm totally unreachable for him. And Trail is close to maturing, right? So difficult stuff. And it is hard to say. It is easy to say that there are wrong decisions because it is hard to find right decisions. It is really tough spot. Every decision has potential to snowball out of control in the wrong direction at this point. Still renewed vigor. Oh wait, did he pass with Godalming? Interesting. Yeah, there's maybe something about tickets. Okay. He specifically avoids Sofia, which I understand. And he goes here. I could have been there. Yeah. I mean, this is good spot for me because I might have went to the... when you consider what Kodamin can have as a ticket or regarding his position and all of that, this is a rare situation where passing may be correct decision, which is also interesting. Now Helsing. I know I am safe. Helsing cannot fight me 1v1. Literally impossible. And he jumps onto me. Okay. Oh, I have bats. Okay. Rats. Wolf. Wolf or not wolf? I mean, Mina cannot join anyway. And I keep bats because, you know, like pushing him away doesn't mean anything. He needs to run away by himself. And later, maybe he will go here to stop aristocratic from maturing. Bats will protect that. Like, bats are not really important at this point. What we're doing here, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, he found me, but okay. Well, yeah, understandable. Mm, no hard feelings at this point. At this moment, yeah, it is. Oh, forewarned. Yeah, it is. He used renewed vigor. He wasn't able to capitalize on that, and pistol. Yeah, and not even like top notch. So what, he uses renewed vigor to run away from me? He stays here with 4 health, revealed pistol, and I know that he has Heavenly Host. Not. Yeah, he doesn't even. He can't even stop escape as bats. Yeah, so at this point he left. We stopped playing. Let's see the map. Okay, because at this point, yeah, Mina is not a threat, not close to be a threat. Helsing is getting demolished right now. Again, he is not a threat, especially that I know his items. I know he cannot stop my escape as bats too, right? So yeah, Seward is potentially the only one dangerous if he got something to add to his rifle, which he might have actually. Again, that there are quite a lot of. I know that Mina has nothing useful, Helsing has nothing useful. I mean, nothing useful. Heavenly Host, and there are some knives and rifles to be found, right? So someone probably is finding them, unless it is economic again. So yeah, for me it was like very fascinating game, especially that a lot of stuff was happening on many layers, a lot of strategy, a lot of combat, and it is not like one-sided game. I hope you're able to see by yourself how competent Mistergreen is and how many difficult decisions he forced onto me when he surrounded me when I was in 10. It for me, and I hope that for no one, it was a clear decision. Oh, I just moved to 17, right? There is risk of losing game there. Uh, still, again, my opinion is that e- even if I'm attacked here, even if the attack is 3v1, this is one of the better spots to be attacked 3v1 with renewed vigor and all of that than any time later in the game. That's why I took this one, right? And then when it seems that hunters are not really willing to take that fight, they're not equipped. They were just trying to scare me off. Then the way to capitalize on that and just power through hunters and just bully them. There's also advantage of the east that I think also maybe not many people realize how dangerous it can be. We often talk how many small cities are there and how few big cities to supply items. So usually Dracula can avoid big cities, move through small cities, hunter expand themselves on the small cities, and then if they want to resupply, they need to waste moves to go to big cities. But what I did this game was to take possession with my lairs all of the big cities. So hunters actually didn't have a safe spot to supply. They had to simply run away from me and from big cities, and they didn't have a good spot. So in a way, the East was my land, and this is one of the games that shows how dangerous is East and how powerful it can be for Dracula. You cannot do anything like that with any other starting location, especially not in the middle of the continent, because sometimes it doesn't really matter how your lair looks like if you can be attacked 4v1. In England, somewhat, maybe a little bit, but you need to leave it sooner or later, and usually sooner. In Spain, somewhat, yes, it is possible, but then again, it can be, after some time, it can be fairly easy for hunters to charge in, and you have a breakpoint in Granada that is, you can simply lose the game on the spot. So this powerful lair combat strategy is basically only possible in the East, and this is why I consider East as being the strongest Dracula starting position, especially if you have something that goes your way. Hunters have unlucky items. Yeah, that they it is hard for them to contest you in combat. Hunters have unlucky tickets. Their horses may die or they may not catch up. Even if they know where you are, if the space is tight, they may have inconvenient moving around here, right? Hunters have some bad stuff with supplies. A lot of hunters need to move. One hunter from the west, one hunter from England. They need to move a lot, and actually both hunters in Vienna also need to move a lot to even clear your trail. So a lot of a lot of stuff can go wrong for hunters, and Dracula can abuse that. And in the worst case scenario, there's quite a lot of sea spaces, port cities that you can escape if necessary. So yeah, what do you think? I really like this game because uh, again, I got few good games like against Scott Sword or past games against Quincy, for example. I also Warcraft, but it wasn't this type of a game. But the game where you uh, keep tabs and the deduction on hunters power lever, right? You keep look at the discard item. You watch closely how they move, what decisions they do, what do they have, and then decide how dangerous are they. Obviously, hunters can be dangerous almost always. The fight in 46, again, Mistergreen is dangerous combatant, makes little bit different decisions somewhere there. I make different decision. I don't have exactly combat cards as I want, and I'm at 2 health even if I kill Godalming, right? I'm at 2 health, and yeah, I can feed, but Helsing would could easily charge at me with Seward and just finish me off. I wouldn't be able to do all that fancy movement so easily. Yeah. So a little bit of experimental format. I tried to pause in few things, like over analyze key game points, decision points. I'm interested. How do you like it? Uh, do you like the poses, or like how many people really actually took the time to consider the position? It is probably very difficult to do it yourself if you're not connected to the game. You just watch. It is not the same level of, I don't know, intuition or the same level of connection. So I don't know. Maybe a streamlined version is little bit more fluent, or maybe this type from time to time can be a refreshment. You know, a little bit of a skill check, skill test, or like a learning point. Let's say. Let me know either on Discord or in the comments because it's interesting for me. I hope you like this game, and I hope you will have a good night.